Hello and welcome to the CompTIA CASP plus 004. My name is Matthew Browne. I'm a cybersecurity architect. I've worked in IT for the last 10 years, focusing on server infrastructure, cloud, migrations, Microsoft services, and all vendor certification and training. So the purpose of this video is we're just going to have a look at the CASP plus 004 examination. We're going to look at what it entails. Why do it? Why do CompTIA certifications? Why complete their practitioner level exam? So the CompTIA Casp Plus exam is very interesting. Why do I say that? It's CompTIA's leading certification. It's their highest level, and it compares with the likes of your CISSP, which is provided by ISC Squared. So the CASP Plus, as I said, is the highest certification provided by CompTIA. It does have prerequisites that are recommended. So CASP Plus does not require you to have these, but they are recommended. So you're looking at 5 years of security architecture as recommended by CompTIA, and you're looking at a minimum of 10 years in IT administration. So the CAS 004 exam was released in October of 2021. It requires 75 CEUs. It is ANSI accredited, which means that it is accredited under the American Council of Education. CASP Plus is CompTIA's highest level cybersecurity practitioner exam. So without further ado, we will start the presentation. The CASP Plus looks at different skill sets. It looks at different areas of learning. It looks at different, I suppose, job roles. So you're going to be looking at for CASP Plus is your security architect, your security engineer, your SOC manager, your cybersecurity analyst, or your InfoSec specialist. So CASP Plus has 4 key skills and competencies. You're looking at your security architecture, your security operations, your security engineering and cryptography, and your governance, risk, and compliance. So for CASP Plus, many organizations have contributed to it. One of the biggest being the Department of Defense in the US, the US Army, the US Navy, and multiple colleges and third parties. So the key features about CASP that others might not know is it's a robust assessment of your skills. It integrates active learning throughout the exam. It's aligned with its books. So CompTIA do have their official study guides for CASP Plus. They also have engaging video programs, which were developed by CompTIA. There are many third-party providers out there providing these kind of resources as well. So when you're looking to study for this, you should definitely take a look at that. And it's just been recently refreshed. So the new exam number is CAS -004. The exam, as I said earlier, focuses on 4 key skills and competencies. What's important to know is these are broken up into percentages for the exam. So your security architecture is 29%, your security operations is 30%, your security engineering and cryptography is 26%, and your governance, risk, and compliance is 15%. So just a brief overview about the course. the kind of things you'll be doing with CASP is you'll be looking at performing risk management activities. You'll be summarizing the different types of governance and compliance strategies that you'll be utilizing in IT. You'll be looking at implementing business and continuity solutions alongside disaster recovery. You'll also be looking at identifying infrastructure services, performing software integration. You'll also be required to explain virtualization, cloud services, the different emerging technologies. You'll also be required to showcase that you're able to secure infrastructure. What I mean by that is you're going to be looking at your hardening of systems. You're also going to have to understand security, security compliance and identity for cloud platforms. You're also going to be looking at PKI, which is your public key infrastructure, and you're going to have to understand threats and vulnerability management alongside developing incident responses. So CAS Plus really is mile wide and an inch deep in terms of content. The point of it is you're looking at applying security best practices from a managerial point of view and also a very technical point of view. So that practitioner level, that security architect, that cloud architect. Okay. So that brings us to the end of that slideshow. So the next thing, let's have a look at the CAS Plus spreadsheet. So as I said earlier, the exams are broken up into 4 different areas. In CAS 03, it was quite different in terms of there were 5, we now have 4. So CAS 04 is broken up again into security architecture, security operations, security engineering and cryptography, and governance, risk and compliance. So the percentage markings for each of these, security architecture is your 29%, security operations is 30%, security engineering and cryptography is 26%, governance, risk and compliance is 15%. Okay, so the kind of jobs that you'll be looking at as a CASP candidate, are security architecture, security engineer, SOC manager, SOC analyst. There's many third-party organizations that recommend or teach CASP, so I do recommend you go and have a look at that out there on the internet. CAS 004, its launch date was October 6, 2021. Again, this is the latest edition of the exam. It's maximum of 90 questions. The types of questions you're going to get: performance and multiple choice. You're also going to get a lab environment. So what that means is you'll have your standard multiple choice questions for clicking one of 4 answers, maybe. You will also have your best scenario questions, which will be, we want you to do X task. What is the best way of achieving that? So you'll have those kind of questions. You'll also have, in terms of the performance-based questions, which are PBQs, you will be given a scenario and you will be asked to answer on that scenario. So this can be anything from drag and drop to prioritizing tasks, to setting up a task, to closing services, to mitigating threats. Maybe you're looking at a pen test report and you're asked what actions you have to complete, all that kind of good stuff. So what that means is the length of the test is 165 minutes with a scheduled appointment of 220 minutes. The 220 minutes allows you for your check-in, your identification verification, your your confirmation of reading the NDA, making sure you've read the terms and conditions, accepting them, all that kind of good stuff. Something to note with the CASP Plus, this is only a pass-fail. You don't get a score, you don't get any percentage, you don't get told any of that. So the difference between CASP Plus and your CISP is with your Certified Information Security Professional, you get a report at the end of it that tells you whether you're proficient, near proficiency, or above proficiency. With CASP, you don't get that. It's pass, fail only. CompTIA do provide you with a score report at the end of it, which gives you an idea of what areas you incorrectly answered in to a point. It's more against the objectives rather than, you have your study guide and you can go back and check what areas. You can't do that with CASP. It's just a guide to tell you might have incorrectly answered 10 questions in security architecture, or 10 questions in cryptography, or 10 questions in PKI. So you don't really know. So again, CASP Plus is a pass and fail only. It's not skilled. So the next thing CompTIA recommends is that you have 10 years of experience in IT administration, including at least 5 years of hands-on. Well, excuse me. What that means is you're not going to be taking your CASP if you are just getting started in IT. You're going to take it if you've been in IT for 10 plus years and you have had exposure to a multitude of different architectures, cloud solutions, on-premise, maybe even a bit of pen testing, blue teaming, red teaming, all that kind of stuff. So the CompTIA Casp Plus really, really is a mile wide and an inch deep. This exam gets refreshed every 3 years, and you can take the exam via Pearson VUE through their OnView system, or you can go to a test center if you would like. Just a brief synopsis here on this. The latest edition of CompTIA Casp Plus is your CAS 004. It is 165 minutes in terms of the actual time of the exam. You only get told if you passed or failed, and the exam can be taken at your Pearson VUE or Pearson VUE testing center or OnView testing center online. Okay, so some interesting things. CAS Plus, again, it's brand new, and if we go down to it and we look at it, what does it cover? So the CAS Plus does meet the US Department of Defense Directive 8570 mandate. CASP is approved for DoD job categories in IA technical level 1, 2, and 3, and IA architect and engineer level 1 and 2. Skills that are validated by CASP are also used in these roles. So your security architect, your technical lead analyst, your application security engineer, and your security engineer. So CASP is the only hands-on performance-based certification for practitioners, not managers, at the advanced level of cybersecurity. While cybersecurity managers help identify what policies and frameworks could be implemented, CASP professionals figure out how to implement the solutions with these policies and frameworks. What does that mean? So again, CASP Plus is a performance level exam. What I mean by that is you're given multiple choice questions, you're given simulations, you're given performance-based questions, you're given scenario-based questions. You're not just clicking multiple choice answers. You actually have to understand this. So there's a reason CASP is CompTIA's highest level exam. It's because it really tests you on all these different elements, just like other exams. CASP Plus is again CompTIA's highest cybersecurity level certification. So just remember that. Okay, so just a bit more details about the CASP Plus, and we'll go into it more here. It's both a performance-based certification and a hands-on based for advanced practitioners and not managers. What this means that is you're going to be the security architect taking this exam. You're going to be the lead technical solutions architect, maybe the cloud solutions architect, the practitioner level architect. So you're not going to be taking this if you're a junior engineer, a senior engineer, an engineer with some bit of cloud experience, an engineer with maybe experience in networking. What you're going to be is you're going to be that cloud solutions architect. What I mean by that is you've had the experience both on the job, on premise, in the cloud. You've been doing it for at least 5 years. Maybe you have some help desk experience behind you. You have some networking experience. You have some security experience. The point being, CASP is really for the practitioner levels. What CompTIA say is CASP is an advanced level cybersecurity certification for security architects and senior security engineers charged with leading and improving an enterprise cybersecurity readiness. So what they're basically telling you is you should be in a senior position when you're taking this, at least. That's minimum, because you're not going to have the experience as a junior technical analyst or a junior help desk engineer or a junior on-premise engineer or junior cloud engineer. You're not going to have this level of knowledge and experience. Now, CompTIA does welcome people to take the exam regardless if they have the certified experience, which is a nice added bonus. Although that does show a downside in terms of they haven't validated your experience in that retrospect. So it's not like your CISP where you have to provide evidence that you've been working in security for at least 5 years on the different domains. With CASP, you can go ahead, you can study it, you can pass it, and you're CASP certified, and that's fine. But it is recommended to have that experience. So you're 5 years in security, you're 10 years overall IT experience. So again, what's covered in CASP is your security architecture, your security operations, your security engineering and cryptography, your governance, risk and compliance. So stuff like your PCI DSS, your SOX, your HIPAA, your GDPR, your FISMA, your NIST, your CCPA. So this is the part that a lot of people get very interested in. So I'm quite passionate about this part of going through the exam sheet. So the 4 certifications that are up against each other are CASP, ISC Squared Certified Information System Security Professional, GIAC Certified Enterprise Defender, ISACA Certified Information Security Manager. Now, interesting things here. CASP is the only one that has performance-based questions. What this means is these are questions where you actually have to complete activities within a simulated environment. Example, you might get a Windows Server environment and you might have to mitigate threats. You might get a cloud environment and you might have to mitigate threats. You might even get a Linux environment, and you might have to mitigate threats there. So what CASP also does is it's an exam length of 90 questions, sorry, with 165 minutes. Okay, so we've said the certification, which is CASP Plus. We've said the performance-based questions, whether it includes it, and we've spoken about how many questions are in it and the length of it. How does this alone compare to your CISP, your GCED, your CISM? So CISP does not have any performance-based question. Neither does GAIAC and neither does ISACA, meaning that neither of the three of these contain any simulations or any sort of live environments where you have to go in and prove what you know. So you have to go in and mitigate a threat. You have to go in and mitigate ransomware attack. You have to go in and mitigate possible denial of service attack. Those are the kind of things you're going to be looking at in the performance-based questions for CASP versus the other three exams not having any performance-based questions. The exam lengths, your CISP is 100 and up to 150 questions, which is 3 hours. Your GCED is 115 questions, which is 3 hours again. Your CISM is 150 questions and it's 4 hours. Okay, so some interesting things here to note. The CASP Plus, while it gives you 165 minutes, the appointment time is 220 minutes again, just so you know. So while the exam itself is 165 minutes, that's your 3 hours, which is equivalent to the same of CISP. So that's fine. Both of them are very similar. Same with your GCED as well, and your CISM is 4 hours. Now, I'm sure if you take into account all 4 of them, the exam time and then the check-in times and the getting set up times, they're all probably going to be around 3-4 hours mark, just in general. The experience level for all 4 of these is advanced. It's just that simple. It's not a beginner. It's not a fundamentals. It's not an associate level. It's not an intermediate level. It's advanced. So you really need to know your stuff in these exams, not just CASP, but all of them. The key difference between CASP and the other 3 exams are it's a cybersecurity practitioner level skills architect and engineer focused exam. What that means is you're looking at your skills. You're looking at the architecture. You're looking at the engineering behind it. What's the difference between your CASP and the other 3 vendors? CISP is a management skills examination. The GCED is a practitioner level skills engineer assessment, and CISM again is a cybersecurity management level skills. The prerequisites and we'll go into this for a minute or two just to kind of give people an idea. So the prerequisites are, if we look at CISP, you have to have a document proof of 5 years full-time of IT work experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains. For the GAIAC, you don't have to have any documented level of experience, but they do recommend students should be aware of the technical level required for the certification. So in other words, GAIAC are just saying, look, it's very technical. You need to look at the level of understanding for this exam before you take it. Again, CISM. So the ISACA CISM, you have to have a documented proof of minimum of 5 years work experience, 3 or more of job practice analysis areas. So you've, like CISP, you've to show that you have your 5 years done and three years at least done in the various, applying your skill set to a role. How does CASP compare to all of these? So, no, CASP does not have a required or documented proof of experience, unlike CISP and CISM, where you have 5 years to prove. What CompTIA have done instead is they've recommended 10 years of IT administration, including 5 years of hands-on technical security experience, meaning you can go in and take that exam at any point. While that's beneficial in terms of you don't have to go through a endorsement process, a rigorous assessment of your skills and your CV, none of that. You can go in and take the exam and pass it if you have the, I suppose, if you have the experience behind you, you'll be able to go through the exam and pass it. Now, there is a reason CompTIA recommend 10 years of IT administration experience, because the level of understanding in the CAS Plus certification, it really is a practitioner level certification, because you're applying hands-on knowledge within the exam. Just like your, let's say, your CEH, where you have to actually go in and complete objectives, you have to do that in CompTIA Casp Plus. That is a requirement. And just a note, because I've been asked by a lot of people. So the simulations in Casp Plus are quite detailed. They are heavily weighed in terms of the exam from what I have been able to see. Meaning, I have taken the CAS Plus exam, I have passed it, so I know what it entailed in terms of simulations, performance-based questions, multiple choice, scenario-based, I know what it entails. So the best thing you can remember is where CompTIA has provided you with the recommendation. It's only a recommendation, but if you feel you have at least 5 years of hands-on technical and security administration experience, you can definitely consider booking and taking this exam. There is nothing stopping you. You will probably have the knowledge there to be able to at least attempt the exam. Don't know if you'll pass it or not, but you will definitely be able to attempt it. So again, the CAS Plus is the highest level of CompTIA's cybersecurity pathway. Reminder, the job roles are your security architect, your security engineer, your SOC manager, your security analyst, your IT cybersecurity specialist, your cyber risk analyst. So again, the technical areas covered are your security architecture, which is 29%, your security operations, which is 30%, your security engineering and cryptography, which is 26%, and your governance, risk, and compliance, which is 15%. All right. So many organizations have contributed to the development of CASP, so do check them out. So we will move on to the next spreadsheet here. So this is very interesting. CASP versus CISP, 4 advantages of CompTIA's Advanced Cybersecurity Certification. So this is really important. So what CASP lets you do as an IT professional, it shows that you can walk the walk and talk the talk. So reason I say this, reason CompTIA say this, reason other people would say this, if you have taken your CAS Plus exam, you're probably either deciding to take that versus your CISP. you're probably deciding to take that over your CISP, or you're probably deciding, will you skip CASP and just go to CISP? So what CASP does is getting certified in CASP shows that you have the proper skills right here in this day and age for practitioner level. Yeah, employer documentation is not required because you have the proven hands-on skills to perform the job, meaning CompTIA are certify you to say that you are of practitioner level, you know your stuff. If you have passed this exam, you are able to provide employers with a good insight into your technical abilities. So why would you take an exam that only includes multiple choice questions when employers need to know you have performance skills? So, meaning CompTIA say that because the CAS Plus, again, is a performance-based exam. It's not like your CISP, it's not like your GCD, it's not like your CISM, where they're simply multiple choice questions, scenarios, not that they're not difficult or not that they're not uh, in any sort of way hard. CompTIA's edge over those exams is that it's performance based. So what CompTIA say is CompTIA's performance certification validates the skills associated with a particular job or responsibility. To earn the certification, candidates must demonstrate their ability to perform related tasks through simulations and performance-based questions, proving that they not only know what a job entails, but how to do it. And that is the CASP difference versus your CISP. So CASP also provides cybersecurity managers with technical mastery skills. So on average, CASP covers hands-on skills which are required for cybersecurity architects based on research completed by CyberSeek. The average, or should I say median salary of a CASP certified cybersecurity architect is 133,000 per year, and there are over 5,000 job openings in the US alone at the moment. So what CASP does is it actually fills a, I suppose, a skills gap for hands-on cybersecurity jobs, meaning that, for example, for years, the US Navy used CISPs to certify advanced cybersecurity professionals, regardless of their job role, but they had no good way of assessing hands-on cybersecurity skills for personnel who are not in management positions, and that's why they mandated CAS Plus. So CAS Plus is your ISO ANSI 1724 standard. It's approved by the US Department of Defense to fulfill the 857001 mandate. It's ANSI accredited, and there have been over 1.3 million exams accredited since January 2011 by CompTIA and ANSI. So, something really interesting to note about CASP. It costs significantly less than CISP. And yes, you did hear that right. It does cost less. So on average, it retails for $466. CISP, whereby retails at $699. So as you can imagine, that's quite a difference in terms of costings. So again, $466 for the CAS Plus exam, $699 for the CISP. So what CompTIA are saying, why would you pay $699 for a multiple choice exam when you can also assess your hands-on performance for $466 with CASP? And to an extent, that is true. So CISP doesn't provide any performance-based exam questions. So you can't turn around and say CISP is you know, it's been proven as the gold standard in IT for decades. It's been around longer, and it is the gold standard in terms of managerial skills assessment. But there are many people out there that don't believe CISP is practitioner level for cybersecurity professionals in terms of performance-based analysis. And that's what the CASP does. It challenges you on your ability to perform in the simulations, whether it be reconnaissance, whether it be mitigating threats, whether it be trying to mitigate ransomware, whether it's behavioral analytics. I mean, CASP really does touch on everything in cybersecurity, and it also provides you with assessment of performing, I'm going to say, real life scenarios that you might see out there. And that's what it does. It not only teaches you, but asks of you to perform that technical analysis. So CASP really does deliver on the performance-based side, and it is quite difficult in terms of understanding that when you're in the exam and you might be panicking. You've only an hour left, and you're looking at the performance-based questions, or sorry, the simulation-based questions, and you're thinking, I don't remember doing that. I never did it. But you did do it. You've done it every day for the last 5 years at least. You've been performing those job roles. You've been performing those activities. You've shown people how to do it. CASP really does focus on performance-based. I will say that. It has good multiple choice-based questions. It has good simulations as well, real life scenarios. Overall, CASP Plus for me was the better choice. So let's take a look at the next one about CASP. So again, we're just going to quickly review this. So what CompTIA have said is get the only hands-on performance-based cybersecurity certification for advanced practitioners with the new CASP exam. So meaning CASP is the only certification on the market that qualifies technical leaders to assess cyber readiness within an enterprise design, implement proper solutions to ensure the organization is ready for the next attack. CASP Plus certified professionals figure out how to implement solutions within policies and frameworks and not just manage them. And that is the CASP difference. You are implementing the solution. You're designing the solution, you're architecting it, you're implementing it, you're providing a zero trust outlook on the architecture. So that's what you're doing here. So just again, to remind you, it goes through security architecture, security operations, security engineering and cryptography, governance, risk, and compliance. So CompTIA have their CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner exam objectives. Again, this is really important to look at when you go to do the exam. The exam number is CAS-004. It's a maximum of 90 questions. It's multiple choice, performance-based, and it has simulations. The length of the test is 165 minutes. It is recommended to have 10 years of hands-on IT experience, with at least 5 of those years being broad hands-on security experience. CompTIA do also recommend you have your Network Plus, Security Plus, CISA Plus, and Pentest Plus. Reason being, all the material from these exams is put into CASP. And it's not put in terms we've taken a question and we've added it to the CASP exam from each of these exams. What we've done is we've molded together questions based on your networking, your security, your cybersecurity analytics, your cloud environments, your penetration testing. We've put them all together in the one exam, and we have formed questions off those, or even formed new questions, taking all of these certifications into consideration when designing the CASP exam. The passing score for CASP is pass-fail only, so no scale score. Again, your security architecture is 29%, security operations is 30%, security engineering and cryptography is 26%, your governance, risk and compliance is 15%. And that makes up your 100% CompTIA Casp Plus certification. Again, have a look through the CompTIA exam objectives. Make sure you understand the acronym list, as candidates are encouraged to understand this, as these acronyms will appear in your examination. And it's a really good idea to understand them anyways in IT. So again, this is the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner site page on the CompTIA.org website. Again, CompTIA are showcasing that CASP is the only hands-on and performance-based certification for advanced practitioners and not managers. Unlike other certifications, CASP Plus covers both security architecture and engineering. CompTIA have gone into a small bit of detail on what CASP is. They've also gone through the skills you'll learn very briefly. They've told you about the jobs that use CASP. They've told you about the organizations that require it. They've also told you about the difference of the new exam, and they've told you the pricing. CompTIA have also told you how CompTIA Casp Plus compares in a shorter table of contents here, and they've told you that CASP can be renewed, and it's 75 CEUs needed for renewal, making it their highest renewal requirement. Another thing just to point out, if you're studying for CASP, I would highly recommend getting your CompTIA Advanced Security Plus study guide. It's a good way of referencing back your study. You can also utilize CompTIA's CertMaster Learn, their labs, their integrated labs, their practice, their instructor guides, student guides, and study guides. So CompTIA Casp Plus is a great way of studying for the exam. Their student guide is quite helpful, quite resourceful, quite accurate. And for me, that was the primary resource I used for studying and making out notes and doing my own video compilations, watching and utilizing Udemy, LinkedIn, basically refreshing myself on what a practitioner level cybersecurity architect would be doing, even though I do it every day. So again, their official study guide can also be bought digitally. You can look at it, you can get different bundles. CompTIA have made the ebook affordable. If you don't want to get anything else and you just want to get the digital book, you can get that, or you can get it with your retakes, your labs, all that kind of stuff. Their bundles can be quite expensive, but they're, depending on your own requirements, they're worth it. Like if you're someone that is in security, but you like to do practice exams before the real exam, it can be worth getting the CompTIA CertMaster Learn and Labs, or as you can go down other routes where you can get Udemy practice questions, labs, all that kind of stuff. So just a reminder, CompTIA do have the CEU assessment page, which allows CompTIA advanced security practitioners to assess where they are in the journey of CASP, how they're going to get their 75 CEU renewals. and whether those activities are accepted for the renewal assessment. Again, the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner exam is really geared at advanced level cybersecurity architects. And I do want to point that out. Cybersecurity architect, security operations, it's all security engineering, cryptography, governance, risk and compliance, all that kind of stuff. So DoD, very important just to review this here. The DoD approved IA baseline certification. This is a clear winner in terms of you should understand this. If you're going for a job with the Department of Defense or any military provider or contractor or government request, you are covered if you do CAS Plus for IAT level 3. You are also covered if you do CAS Plus for IAM level 2. Okay, that's really important that you have that in there, so you understand that you can be at IAT level 3, IAM level 2, or IASE level 2. So CAS Plus has its perks in terms of, while it's not quite there yet in terms of IAM level 3 and IASAE level 3, I'm sure down the line they will get it to that point. Okay, I'm pretty sure CompTIA will see the advantages of getting it to that point, and therefore when they do that, it will make it 100% attractable to everybody, because the only thing at the moment for your IAM level 3 and your IASAE level 3 is either your CISM or CISP for IAM level 3, or your ISAE level 3 is your CISP designations. So, there's a lot of work in the ISC squared material. So, it's lucrative in terms of CAS Plus so far provides you with a lot of opportunities. And remember, CAS Plus certification provides you with the opportunities to open more doors. It doesn't guarantee them. So it's really important that you understand how you can use it, why you'd get it, and how it works for you in terms of government contract roles and permanent base roles in the Navy, etc. So the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner really does do a lot for you. Again, we went through the course overview. Okay, we went through the exam spreadsheet in terms of the CAS Plus certification. We went through what CompTIA have said about it, the domains, the what's new, all the exam details. We went through the CASP versus CISP advantages. We also went through the flyer for CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner. We briefly touched on the exam objectives guide, just reminding you to review that in your own time. We also looked at the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner website in terms of the main info page about the exam. We went through quickly the student guide on what it has, where it's available digitally in a book. I also remind you about the study guide again, both digitally and physical. Went through a few bits on that. I reminded you about the CE assessment app, which is really important for your CAS Plus renewals. And I went through the government agencies and contractor flyer as well. Again, I just want to go back to this because this is always a topic of hot debate for security practitioners. So just quickly before we finish up, what CompTIA have said is CASP is often compared to the ISC squared certification, which is your Certified Information System Security Practitioner or Professional. And many IT pros ask themselves, which certificate certification is right for me. Both exams assesses advanced level cybersecurity and vendor neutral skills, but the similarities stop there. So the reason why I'm going back to this is because this is a very interesting page to read through and to do your own research. My best advice is, if you're looking at CASP Plus versus CISP and the 4 advantages, this was written by Patrick Lane back in 2018. Read through it, but come to your own conclusions. CASP may not be right for you either right now, in the next 5 years, or it may not be right for you full stop. If you're trying to decide between CASP Plus and CISP, both exams provide validation against your skill set at practitioner level. Now, CISP is slightly more expensive versus CASP, but they're both near enough the same region in terms of the level of study, the level of performance, the level of understanding. My best advice to you is to draw your own conclusions with CASP and CISP. Everybody has an opinion on this. My opinion is both exams, in my eyes, are quite good. They're both relevant. You'll find that some people might pursue CASP to start with, to really gauge where their knowledge is at, and it's a good exam to do that with, as you'll lose less, I suppose, money than you would with CISP. CASP Plus can be taken remotely online and in a centre. CISP can only be taken in a centre. Also, the CASP Plus materials are quite nicely done on the CompTIA website and the study guides. The CISP materials are very nicely done as well in terms of the book and guide, but there has been controversy with the CISP over the CPK recently, which is the Common Body of Knowledge, how some of the books are not providing individuals with all the information required to be able to effectively study for that exam. Again, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different rumors online, a lot of different, I suppose, highly valued professionals giving their speak on it. My advice, again, is to review both exams, see if it's a requirement for your DoD, see what level you want to be at, and then make your decision from there. So before we finish off the conversation, I did want to demonstrate that I do have the CASP Plus exam, which is CompTIA's highest level practitioner exam. I earned it on the 29th of December, and the expiration date is in December of 2025. Reminding people that this has to be renewed every 3 years. It's 75 CEUs to renew it, and that you are required to pay maintenance fees on this if you are renewing. So it's $50 a year, $150 for the 3-year period. And you have to either complete you have to complete advanced industry level certification, example, other exams, or you can renew this via your different CEU activities. Again, CompTIA have that all explained. So without further ado, that's the CASP Plus more in-depth review on the certification since I have taken and passed the exam. I wish you the very best of luck in your studies. If I can be of any assistance or you have any questions, I'd be delighted to answer it. Thanking you for joining me today. Thank you. Bye.